Okay, let's just jump right in. It's mid-January 2026. And if you're like me, you are probably looking at your running shoes right now with a deep sense of suspicion.
Great.
You know, you're out there, it's cold, you're pounding this frozen pavement, and suddenly those shoes you loved back in October just feel dead.
Bricks.
Yeah.
It's the classic new year, new shoe feeling. And it's physically real, you know? That cold weather actually hardens older foam.
So it's not just in my head.
Not at all. You literally lose energy return in the winter.
Well, that makes me feel a lot better about my pace lately.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I started digging into the source material for today, this huge spring 2026 running footwear strategic analysis from Sundred.
And the gear guide, yeah.
And I was honestly shocked. The whole running world has changed. And I don't mean just like new colors changed. I mean fundamental engineering has changed.
It's a completely different landscape than, what, even 2 years ago?
Right. I remember when super shoes were these, weird experimental things for elites. If you weren't running a sub-3 marathon, you felt like a total imposter wearing them.
They were stiff, they were unstable, super expensive.
Exactly. But looking at the Sundred report, that tech it's everywhere now. It's in the shoe you'd wear to walk the dog.
And that really is the headline for spring 2026, the democratization of speed. But it's not even just about speed anymore. It's about how that speed gets delivered.
Okay, so our mission today is to decode all this information from Sundred. We're going to help you navigate this absolute flood of new shoes hitting the shelves. And I want to start with the biggest shift they mention. They're calling it the end of the carbon plate wars.
Which is, frankly, a huge relief for everyone's calves.
Seriously. But what replaces it? The report uses this phrase, dynamic adaptability. Now, I have to be honest, that sounds like pure marketing fluff.
I get it. It sounds like a buzzword.
It sounds like something on a billboard that means nothing. Is there actual engineering behind dynamic adaptability?
Oh, absolutely. It's a huge engineering shift. I mean, think about the last 5 years. The whole industry was obsessed with two things: stack height and stiffness.
How much foam and how stiff is the plate?
Right. They just shoved a rigid carbon plate inside a giant block of foam to act like a lever. And it worked. It made people faster.
No question.
But it was like strapping a diving board to your foot. It propelled you, sure, but it was harsh. It forced your foot to move in one very specific way. If your biomechanics didn't match the plate, you were literally fighting the shoe.
So dynamic adaptability means the shoe adapts to you.
Precisely. The shoe is soft when you land, but it instantly firms up when you push off. And it does all of that based on foam chemistry and geometry, not some rigid insert.
And this brings us to what might be the most important new category in the Sundred guide, the super trainer.
This is the sweet spot for 2026.
Okay, define this for me, because it used to be you had racing shoes, which were flimsy, and training shoes, which were heavy. The super trainer. It's both.
It's the bridge. It's the gap bridger. Runners loved that bouncy feeling of the super foams.
Yeah.
But they hated the instability and how fragile they were.
Right.
So brands just started taking that elite, high-end race foam and putting it into a stable, durable shoe, but without the aggressive carbon plate.
Okay, let's use some examples from the report because there are some heavy hitters coming. The one that jumped out at me was the ASICS Super Blast 3.
March release. The anticipation for this one is huge.
The report says the last version was always sold out, but this one, it's a non-plated super shoe. How does that even work? How do you get the bounce without the plate?
It's all about the geometry of the foam. ASICS calls it turbo foam.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of a plate, they shape the whole midsole like a rocker.
So it just rolls you forward.
It just rolls you forward.
Yeah.
And because there's no rigid plate, the shoe flexes naturally with your foot. You get the protection of a max cushion shoe, the bounce of a racer, and the comfort of, like, a slipper.
That sounds like the holy grail for a long run.
It is. You can do marathon pace in it, but you could also take it on a slow recovery jog.
And Adidas is doing something similar, the HypoBoost Edge.
Yes, also out in March. Same exact concept. Max cushion, high energy return, but for the daily grind. It's for the runner who wants to feel fast on a Tuesday, but doesn't want to beat up their legs doing it.
I really love this trend. I got so tired of choosing between fast and painful or slow and comfortable. But let's talk about the materials, because this is where you have to translate the alphabet soup for me.
Let's get into the chemistry.
The Sundred report is just full of acronyms. PEBA, TPEE. I know PEBA has been the gold standard. That's the Nike Alphafly foam, right?
Correct. PEBA polyether block amide. Think of PEBA like a Formula One tire.
Okay.
It's incredibly light, incredibly bouncy, massive energy return, But just like an F1 tire, it's fragile.
It breaks down fast.
Very fast.
Yeah.
After maybe 150, 200 miles, the chemical bonds just start to break down. The pop is gone. That's fine for a race shoe you wear 3 times a year, but it's terrible for a daily trainer.
So the solution is this: TPE. The report keeps calling it the winner for 2026.
TPEE, thermoplastic polyester elastomer.
A mouthful. What does it actually feel like?
Okay, imagine a material that gives you, say, 90% of the bounce of that Formula One tire, but it has the durability of a truck tire. That's TPEE. It resists what's called compression set.
Compression set. That's the technical term for the foam going flat.
Exactly. You know that feeling at mile 18 where your shoe just feels dead?
Yeah.
TPE fights that. It stays bouncy for 400, maybe even 500 miles.
That's a massive difference. For your wallet, too.
It completely changes the economics.
Yeah.
And because TPE is so tough, it lets designers do some wild things.
Yeah.
Look at the Adidas Evo SL in the guide.
The sub 8-ounce trainer, that's just ridiculously light.
It's a feather. And they can get it that light because the TPE foam is so durable they barely put any rubber on the outsole. The foam itself hits the ground.
But usually if you run on exposed foam, you chew it up in a week.
On old EVA foam, yes. On TPE, no. So you get a shoe that feels like a racing flat but lasts like a workhorse.
That is a game changer. But it's not just the foam chemistry, it's how they're putting the shoes together. The report had a section on removing the stroble board.
This is a bit nerdy, but it makes a huge difference to the feel.
Okay, break it down. What's a stroble board and why do I care that it's gone?
Okay, so think of a house. You have the carpet, that's your insole. But under the carpet, there's a plywood subfloor. It provides structure, but it's stiff.
So that plywood is the stroble board.
That's the stroble board. It's a layer of fabric or board that's been glued between the upper and the midsole. So even with super soft foam, you are still standing on a piece of plywood.
Which blocked you from really feeling the foam.
Totally. But the Brooks Ghost Amp, coming in July, gets rid of it. They call it direct injection. Your foot sits directly on the Piba foam. No glue, no board, just pure sensory feedback.
That sounds incredible. But Brooks is also doing something else. Nitrogen infusion in the glycerin flex.
This is their DNA-tuned foam, launching February 1st. And this is fascinating.
The report says they're injecting different sized bubbles.
Right. So in the past, if you wanted a soft heel and a snappy forefoot, you had to glue 2 different pieces of foam together.
Which adds weight, stiffness, a seam.
Exactly. Brooks figured out how to take one piece of foam and inject different sized gas cells into different zones. So they put big bubbles in the heel for a soft landing and tiny, dense bubbles in the forefoot for a firm push-off.
All in one seamless piece.
One seamless piece. No glue. It's like tuning the shoe at a microscopic level.
Wow. It feels like we're moving from shoemaking to, I don't know, chemical engineering.
That is exactly where the industry is, and you see it in the stability category, too.
Oh, this is a big one. The Nike Structure Plus. I had to read this twice. The report says Nike put Zoom X, their squishiest, most unstable racing foam, into a stability shoe.
It sounds like a contradiction.
It totally does. Stability is supposed to be firm. You don't want to be wobbling on marshmallows.
That's the old way of thinking. The era of the medial post, that hard block of plastic under your arch, is over. It was crude.
It felt like standing on a golf ball.
Right. Now they use inherent stability. Imagine a bobsled track. The walls are curved, right?
Okay, yeah.
The shoe uses these concave sidewalls and a super wide base. So when you land, the foam's geometry just does bend. It naturally guides your foot to the center, like the bobsled in the track.
So it's guidance, not correction.
Exactly. It's huge. It means a neutral runner can wear the Structure Plus on a long run when their form gets sloppy and it won't feel intrusive.
Okay, that makes so much sense. Now, speaking of pure comfort, the king of cushion, the ASICS Nimbus 28.
The benchmark for recovery days.
The stat that blew my mind here was the weight. It still has that massive 43.5 millimeter stack, but it dropped nearly an ounce.
The strategy is, if it ain't broke, make it lighter. They hid the Pure Gel inside the midsole so you don't see it, but it's still there absorbing all that shock.
Okay, so we've covered smart shoes, stable shoes, comfy shoes. Now I want to talk about the rule breakers, the illegal super trainers.
I love this category. It's so rebellious.
The sun-dried guide calls out the Hoka Skyward X2, and it says right there, illegal for World Athletics racing.
It is. The stack height is around 48 millimeters. The legal limit for elites is 40.
So, serious question. Why would I buy an illegal shoe? Am I going to get pulled off the course at my local 5K?
No, nobody is measuring your stack height at the local turkey trot. This shoe is not for the elite chasing a podium. It's for the 4 to 5 hour marathoner.
The person who's out there for a long time.
For a very long time. And if you're on your feet for 5 hours, that 48 millimeter of PEPA foam and carbon plate is a massive mechanical advantage. It just saves your legs.
So it's for the person who wants to finish the marathon and be able to walk downstairs the next day.
Precisely. It's cheating if you're trying to win prize money, I guess.
Hmm.
But for everyone else, who cares? You just want the protection.
I'm all for that. Give me all the foam. Now, shifting to manufacturing. We mentioned robots. The report talks about on-running and light spray technology.
This is straight out of a sci-fi movie. You see it in the Cloud Monster Hyper 3LS.
I'm trying to picture this. It says the upper is sprayed on. Is that like 3D printing? Or
Yeah.
what?
It's a little different. A robotic arm literally sprays a continuous filament, almost like a spider web, directly onto the shoe mold.
So no stitching, no cutting fabric.
No stitching, no glue, no seams. It creates this perfect sock-like fit that weighs almost nothing. And there's basically zero waste, which is also huge.
That's wild. Okay, and speaking of fixing things, Hoka is finally addressing the Mach series. The Mach 7 is coming in March.
The speed for the everyman shoe.
I loved the Mach 5, but I blew through the outsole in like 2 months. It was just exposed foam.
That was the complaint from everyone. The Mach 7 adds strategic rubber. It adds a tiny bit of weight, sure, but it means the shoe will actually last more than 200 miles.
A very welcome fix. Okay, we have to talk about the gravel bike in the room. Gravel running shoes.
I saw you cringe when you read that part.
I rolled my eyes so hard I think I saw my own brain. I saw the Salomon Aero Glide 4 gravel and just thought, oh, here we go. Marketing nonsense. We have road shoes. We have trail shoes. Do we really need this?
It sounds like hype, I agree. But let me paint the picture. You leave your front door on pavement. You run 2 miles to the park.
Okay.
Then you cut across some grass, maybe a crushed limestone path. You do a few miles on light dirt. Then you run home on concrete.
That is almost exactly my Saturday run.
Right. So if you wear road shoes, you're slipping on the limestone. But if you wear trail shoes with those big lugs, how do they feel on the pavement?
Awful. Like I'm running in cleats.
That's the gap.
Yeah.
The gravel shoe is the crossover SUV. The lugs are flat enough to be smooth on the road, but sticky enough for light dirt. It's for the reality of how most people actually run.
Okay. You've sold me. I withdraw my eye roll. It's the SUV of shoes. I get it.
Exactly.
But there is one more trend in the sun-dried report that I'm struggling with. The niche disruptors. Specifically, a brand called Avelo.
Ah, yes. The AI chip.
They are putting AI chips in the midsole for real-time biomechanics feedback. And get this, it's monetized via subscription.
Software as a service.
So wait, I buy the shoe, but if I stop paying the monthly fee, my shoe stops talking to me.
That's the model they're testing, yeah.
Wow.
The chip analyzes your stride rate, your impact force, all of it, in real time.
It's fascinating and also kind of terrifying. On one hand, avoiding injury is the holy grail. If my shoe can say, hey, your form is breaking down, that could save me months of rehab.
That's the goal, to use data to predict injury before you even feel the pain.
But the flip side, do we lose the ability to listen to our own bodies? If the app says I'm fine but my knee hurts, who do I trust, the algorithm or the nerve ending?
That is the high-risk, high-reward gamble they're taking. They're betting that data is more valuable than intuition.
It feels like a turning point.
And then on the pure physical side, you have brands like Mount to Coast with their C1 shoe,
The Ultra Road shoe.
right, for the 50-kilometer-plus road runner.
Mm-hmm.
That shoe has special foams designed to manage heat and how much your foot swells over those huge distances.
Specificity. That seems to be the word for spring 2026.
It absolutely is. The do-it-all shoe is kind of disappearing.
Okay, so we've covered a ton of tech. Let's make this practical. Let's do a rapid-fire buying guide based on the sun-dried data. I'll give you a runner profile. You give me the picks.
Let's do it.
Profile 1, the one-shoe runner. They want versatility. Gym, 5K, slow jog. They only want one pair.
The Hoka Mach 7 or the Adidas Evo SL.
Why those two?
The Mach 7 can handle speed and distance really well now. The Evo SL is just tough as nails because of that TPE foam. And the sun-dried report specifically notes it looks good with jeans, so it has that lifestyle crossover.
Okay, profile 2, the tired legs runner. All they care about is saving their knees. It's all about recovery.
Easy. ASICS Gel Nimbus 28. It's the undisputed benchmark.
Oh.
Or the New Balance 1080 V15. You just want maximum impact absorption. You want the marshmallow.
Profile 3, the PB chaser. Race day. They want to go fast. Money's no object.
Okay, if you want the established king, the Nike Alphafly 4, the report says they finally fixed that loud slap sound.
Yeah.
If you want something super light and aggressive, the Mizuno Hyper Warp Pure. It's sub 5 ounces.
Sub 5 ounces is insane. Okay, last one. The mixed terrain runner. the person doing that road to trail route we just talked about.
Salomon Aeroglide 4 GRE-VL. Or, if you prefer a zero drop, more natural feel, look at the UltraTemp 6.
Perfect. So zooming out, what's the big takeaway for someone listening to this?
I think it's that the market has really matured.
Mm.
We're not just slapping carbon plates on everything anymore. Whether you're running on gravel or just recovering or trying to qualify for Boston, there's a very specific tool sharpened just for that job.
And that's the advice. Don't just buy the hype. Buy the tool for the job you're actually doing.
Exactly right.
Before we sign off, I just have one thought that's been nagging me since we talked about Ivilo and on.
The chips in the robots?
Yeah. I mean, with brands putting chips in our shoes to monitor us and robots spraying uppers onto soles, we are moving toward a future where the shoe might actually know more about your running form than you do.
We're basically outsourcing our proprioception.
Yeah. So, are we ready to subscribe to our footwear? Are we ready for our shoes to tell us to stop running or to run faster?
It's a brave new world for sure.
Something to think about on your next run, whether it's on gravel, road, or treadmill. Go find the tool that makes you want to move. Thanks for listening to this deep dive into the Sun-Dried 2026 guide.
Run safe, everyone.